Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going to dive into something really cool, the art of world building. We're going to deconstruct how a single idea can just explode into this rich, Norse-inspired saga.
You know, it all starts with a spark, right? You see an image like this, and it just begs the question, what's the story here? I mean, look at it, a dragon, a volcano, a little settlement. There's a whole world just sitting there, waiting to be discovered.
So, where do we even begin with this world? Well, the creators did something really clever here. They made themselves, the storyteller, a character. Not just a narrator, but someone who's actually woven into the myth itself.
And this quote, this is everything. It really frames the whole narrative. You see, it's not just describing someone making art. It's turning the act of creation into a myth. The artist isn't just an artist, he's this aged, one-legged warrior, a woodsmith who's literally carving memories into reality. He becomes a chronicler of myths.
And this just illustrates the whole visual language of the world so perfectly. On one side, you've got the full-color, totally vibrant life of the saga as it's actually happening. But then on the other, you see the stark woodcut style of the stories being told inside that saga. You know, the actual carvings of our one-legged warrior. It's like seeing the world and its history right there, side by side. So cool.
Okay, so we've got our world, we've got our storyteller. Now what? Well, now it's time to forge a hero. And we're going to start with maybe the most powerful tool in any saga, a name. Or, in this case, 3 of them.
So get this, our hero isn't just one guy, he's kind of 3 people at once. First there's Bjorn, the legendary warrior. Then, to strangers, he's just Thorleif, a humble bard. But to his own village, he's Skogurthur, the respected craftsman. See what's happening? Each name is a different mask, another layer of his identity that he uses to hide his secrets and deal with a past that is, well, larger than life. But it's that last name, Skogurthur, that really tells you who he is now. It reveals his true role. He's not just a warrior anymore. He's a forest teller, a keeper of stories, a wise man who literally speaks through the wood he carves. You can feel there's something deeper there, right? Almost magical.
Okay, so every great hero needs a backstory, right? Something that really defines them. And for our guy, that story isn't just written in ink. It is literally carved from loss, from sacrifice, and from a single battle that scarred the land itself.
His foundation is built on these 2 pillars. You've got his father, Myrkvidir Isbjorn, who was the village protector, this fierce hunter. And then his mother, Gudrun. She was the healer. So good they said she could weave flesh back together. I mean, they're not just parents, you see. They represent the 2 sides of his world, the brutal fight to protect and the incredible power to heal. And then, everything changes. It all comes down to one single violent encounter with this monster, the Winter Wraith. In one brutal battle, our hero loses his leg, he loses his father, and he loses his entire identity as the warrior Bjorn. The whole valley is even renamed in his father's honor. It's this permanent, physical reminder of the sacrifice that turned a warrior into a storyteller.
All right, so a compelling world needs compelling threats, right? And in this saga, the monsters get this fascinating dual identity that just cranks up the terror. It's not just about what they are, it's about what people call them.
And this is just such a clever storytelling device. Every single monster has 2 names. You've got the myth name, that's the formal one you'd hear in a grand saga sung by a bard. But then there's the curse name, and that's the one the villagers whisper in fear around the fire. It's the name for that cold dread you feel when all the dogs suddenly stop barking. One is a title, the other is the terror itself.
So let's take the biggest and baddest of them all, the one from our hero's past. Her myth name is Vetra Vervokter, the Winter Wraith. That's a name known all across the land, right? It's a name fit for legends.
But her curse name, Quicknaud, which means living torment, well, that's a word you'll never see written down. It's only spoken in whispers when the sheep go missing and that terrible silence falls over the valley. It's not really her name, it's the feeling she leaves behind.
And the lore just keeps getting deeper with other nightmares, like Snare Giger. What's terrifying about her isn't her size or her raw power. It's her chilling, silent arrival. I mean, that quote says it all, doesn't it? She simply arrives. That's not the fear of a monster. That's the fear of the inevitable.
So what you have is this entire ecosystem of fear, all built from this duality. Every creature has its official epic title and its whispered curse. The Heart Smotherer, the Blood Knight, the Corpse Greedy, the Child Taker. These aren't just monsters on a list. They're personified fears. It makes this world feel so ancient, so haunted, and just deeply, deeply real.
Okay, now for the final layer. This is where all the threads we've been following, the history, the family lineage, the monsters, all of it comes together and points to one single looming catastrophe.
Remember that volcano we've been seeing in the background this whole time? Well, it turns out it's not just a landmark. It's a seal, a prison, and it's holding back something ancient and something terrible.
Turns out, generations ago, a heroic ancestor named Eldgrim, the Fire Mask, did something incredible. I mean, his name alone tells you he's tied to fire, right? Well, he's the one who sealed a dragon beneath that very mountain, all to protect the world.
And here's the twist, the core conflict. It all comes down to a forgotten secret. Our hero's bloodline, it's a fusion of a god and a monster, of Thor and the world serpent, Jörmungandr. It was this unique heritage that gave his ancestor the power to imprison the dragon in the first place. But such bonds weren't meant to last forever. The magic is fading, the seal is weakening, and deep down, beneath that mountain, the dragon is starting to stir.
So this leaves our one-legged woodsmith with an impossible choice, doesn't it? Is he going to stay Skogarthulr, the man who just tells stories about the past, or will he have to become a hero all over again, embrace his entire legacy, and literally carve a new future to save his people? Thank you for joining us on The Explainer.